Hello, Moon Jelly Kevin here, and today I've got for you a video review of The Day I Was Forced to Marry God Ooh, by Tomo-san. So, anyways, with an introduction like that, I know I'm making silly about that name. When I look at that name, I think of like 1950s B movies, or maybe it's a Twilight Zone episode that we all just were not aware of. But with a title like that, how can you not be intrigued? I was personally stuck between places yesterday. There was a huge rainstorm that happened in Southern California, and I got the email saying that the most controversial book was being put out by manga and digital manga publishing, and I had to go check it out for myself, right? Like a moth to the flame. When I see that this is the most controversial book that they put out, I have to go check it out for myself, and I'm glad I did, because this book is fantastic. So we have The Day I Was Forced to Marry God, and I want to let you guys know firsthand. First off, I don't even know if that's the actual. I'm a little skeptical that's the actual title. To translate directly from Japanese to English, but whatever, I digress. I want to make something perfectly clear. I'm not making this video as an attack on religion. I think religion is great. I myself was raised in a religious household. I myself may not be the most particularly religious person right now. I do consider myself spiritual. I think that's kind of the buzz thing a lot of people say about themselves. But I will say that religion does have its place in society, and I've seen religion do a lot of wonderful things for a lot of wonderful people that I know. So I think even Tomo-san herself, I believe in the afterword of this book, she writes that there are plenty of people who get tons of wonderful things out of religion, and I think there are a lot of people who maybe this was the only way that they could learn their morals and ethics, basic things like don't kill and don't steal. I think you could learn that stuff with or without religion, but for some people, this is their gateway into learning how to be a better person. And for that, I say great, tremendous, wonderful. This story is about the opposite. It's more of the religion that I think the internet at large, or a lot of people at large, kind of think of when they think of religion. People who are already spooked by religion would probably not want to read this book, because it's probably just going to spook them some more. Because I think the problems with religion sometimes in society, the good stuff is when it teaches us our morals and ethics. The bad stuff is when you get the people who are self-righteous and they bully other people and they use religion as an excuse to just be toxic and shitty. And I just want to say that this book kind of deals more with that side. It's more about Tomo-san as she grows up. She starts off as this kid. Without getting too heavy into plot spoilers, she has to deal with her mother and her father and this big family. And her mother basically goes down this route of wanting to escape the life that she's living. And she joins this religious group and ropes this young Tomo-san into it. And all hell breaks loose from there, all right? So it deals with Tomo-san from her childhood. It goes on to her middle school. It goes on to her high school. And she has to deal with all the stuff that already a lot of us have gone through our adolescence, questioning the world and finding your identity, and having to have that be juxtaposed with her life in this religious group, which is basically very authoritarian and commanding and telling her what she should and should not be thinking. So it goes all the way up to her marriage, and it kind of ends around the time of her having her kid and her trying to deal with motherhood, and at the same time trying to reprogram her life after some very, very, very traumatic events happen to her. So I don't want to go too deep into the manga. I don't want to spoil too much. But if that sounds like something that is exciting to you, go check this manga out. I cannot give this a higher recommendation, glowing recommendation. There were parts of this story that really affected me in a very, very harsh way, because maybe you don't know what it's like to join some sort of religious group like Tamasan, but I'm sure all of us have at least been through a situation. It's a very human situation, I feel, where you've been in a group where you lose your identity and you're commanded to do stuff that you don't fully understand, and that's something I feel we all can relate to. At least I know I personally can relate to that. So yeah. Anyways, let's get to this. You guys can see this is, like I said, it's her debut manga. And actually, the manga itself is a plot point within the manga. It talks about how she wanted to be an artist and stuff like that, and how the religion came into conflict with that as well. But anyways, again, I don't want to spoil too much. You guys can see from the art style itself, it's very simplistic. Does not really get too heavy. It just kind of just, gives you the basic information that you would need to understand the story and what's going on. But I think that the simplistic art style, as well as the humor, really works to the benefit of the manga, because the one thing I will say that might trigger you if you're planning to read this manga, the one thing that might trigger you is that it does have to deal with abuse, not just like I guess I don't know where I was going with that. It deals with child abuse. It deals with sexual abuse. It deals with spousal abuse. Abuse is in this manga, and it's still written in this very cutesy way. Like, it's still drawn in this very cutesy way, so that when you do get to those moments, it's a little bit more impactful. If you feel like you are someone who can't handle those certain topics, such as like I said, spousal abuse, sexual abuse, or child abuse, avoid this story. I think you might wanna sit this one out. But if you could look at this objectively, I think there's something to be said here in regards to, like I said, feeling the pressure of a group that you're a part of and having to retrain your brains, because all of us are programmed at childhood to believe certain things. All of us at childhood are affected, and this manga is very much about that, and how one's childhood can make people to have a certain worldview from the beginning all the way to the end, and basically how it can really mess you up for life, or really just make you believe a certain way. It could program your brain, and the story is redemptive. It does have an ending where she is able to break her programming, but the journey itself was one that was definitely well worth your time. If I do have one criticism about this manga, there are some situations where you could see that, I don't know if I could show this if my mouse shows up, but there are situations where, you're reading it from right to left, and the text boxes and the speech bubbles do get in conflict. You're supposed to read these text boxes, sequentially, and then you read these dialogue boxes sequentially. And there are moments where it gets a little sloppy, and they kind of conflict with each other. They kind of crash. But I think it is still very much readable as is. That's probably my only criticism of this manga. That, and the title, which I think it is what it is. So anyways, this is The Day I Was Forced to Marry God. Check it out for yourself if you haven't checked it out already. If you have checked it out, please let me know what you thought about in the comments below. If you have any questions about this title, feel free to ask myself. As of right now, it is available on the e-manga shop, as put out by Digital Manga Publishing. So yes, wonderful. Highly recommend the story. Hopefully we'll get a physical of this someday, so I could get this on my lovely shelf. So, man, I just realized I'm making this video on Sunday. I know that's like a holy day for a lot of people, but I think this is a good story that everyone should go check out. It's a very human story that's very relatable. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.